Cost Summary Pulse Report for Azure is an executive-level assessment of the cost of your Azure infrastructure. This report aggregates all cost information from accounts, services, and assets across your cloud infrastructure to provide a comprehensive cost summary. This Pulse report helps users understand where Azure costs are trending for their organization. To navigate to the Cost Summary Pulse report, head over to the navigation panel on the left side of the screen. Under the Azure Dashboard section, click on Pulse and select Cost Summary. Across the top of the screen, you will see a row of drop-down menus. These drop-downs allow you to modify information you can view in the cost summary. The first drop-down is Filters, and it allows you to select and deselect the information you want to view. When you see the letter P, it stands for Perspective and refers to any perspective your organization has created within the CloudHealth platform. Perspectives are different ways to categorize and view information within your infrastructure. Let's filter down to a specific perspective, such as the cost center perspective. Click on the plus sign to expand which cost centers are categorized under the cost center perspective. And then choose the one you want to filter down the information in the Cost Summary Pulse report. Select the filters icon of your choice, in this case we will do Production, and then select the Set Filters icon. You can change the interval, so right now we're looking at a month-to-date cost, but you could change it to weekly, daily, or hourly. You can adjust the category, which is also perspective-based. It is set to categorize costs via application perspective by default. I instead want to categorize costs by environment, so I'm going to change the selection to environment perspective. From there, I will click on the Update icon to update the Cost Summary Pulse report with that modification. You can also change the chart type. You might be thinking, I don't see a chart. Don't worry, it's further down the page of the cost summary. We'll talk about the chart in just a moment. By default, the Cost Summary Pulse report shows projected cost by service, which is an aggregate view. Using the Projected Cost drop-down, you can change it to view cost by service item, which is a more itemized view. The cost summary is set to show the top 15 projected costs by group. If you want to see more or less, you can use the Top List Count menu to change it to view the top 5, top 10, or top 20. If you have a budget set up in the platform, you can click on the Overall Budget drop-down to select a specific overall budget to view a budget versus projected cost in the cost summary. If you want to view a specific overall budget, select it using the drop-down and then click the Update icon to update the Pulse report. Please note that this only applies to overall budgets. Categorized or amortized budgets are not available to view within the Cost Summary Pulse report. However, these types of budgets can be viewed in other cost reports. Diving into the Cost Summary Pulse report, the first section you will see is your Azure month-to-date costs. On the left, you will see the date range for the month-to-date, usually the first of the month to the previous day, and on the right, you'll see the total month-to-date costs. In smaller print at the left, the report shows you what you spent last month at this time, so you can have a quick at-a-glance comparison. The red color box to the left of your current month-to-date cost shows the delta between last month at this time and this month, with an arrow showing which direction the delta is trending. The next section is the projected cost by service. This projects out the total cost for this month by service based on the month-to-date usage. This section also shows you the actual last month total cost, so you can compare how your projected costs for this month stack up against what was spent last month. Again, there is a color box which shows you the delta between what your projected costs for the month are and what was spent last month. As the delta box shows a red with an arrow pointing up, it is saying that your projected costs are currently above last month's spending. If the delta shows a teal box with an arrow pointing down, that indicates where you're projected to be within budget for the month. If you added an overall budget to the Cost Summary Pulse report, there will be a third section showing you budget versus projected for the current month, which will appear below the projected cost by service block. The next menu item, you will see the top 15 projected costs by perspective group, based on the perspective you selected within the category drop-down. This will show you costs for each perspective group, including month-to-date, last month, and projected costs for the month. It also shows you the projected cost delta and the percentage of the projected delta. Like the cost summary sections above, an arrow indicates which direction the projected delta is trending. If I keep scrolling down, I can see my top 15 projected costs by service. I can quickly see that VM reservation orders up front account for my highest month-to-date cost thus far. At a quick glance, I can see that virtual machine accounted for the highest cost last month. I can also see the projected cost for the month, the projected delta percentage, and how the month-to-date costs are trending against last month. Finally, at the bottom of the Cost Summary Pulse report, there is a chart which I spoke about earlier in the video. This chart is a visual representation of how your monthly Azure costs are allocated across category groupings for the last 13 months. This chart will also change based on what is selected in the category dropdown. As you can see, my highest costs appear to be allocated to the production environment month over month. You can click on any of the category groupings to remove a category from the graph and select it again to return it to view. You can also select the Shift key on your keyboard and click on a specific category to isolate the graph to one category, and then select the Shift key again and select the category once more to bring it back to view. Scrolling back up to the top of the Cost Summary Pulse report, you have the option to save the Pulse report with your customizations as a saved report using the Actions menu in the upper right corner of the screen and selecting Save As. Saved reports can be accessed under Reports and Saved Reports within the navigation menu on the left side of the screen. You can also share the report via a shareable link. As long as you select the Update icon before getting the shareable link, all modifications will be retained in the URL, so anyone who views the report with that link will see all the customizations you made. Once you've saved the report, you can select Subscribe and New Subscription and schedule it to run and be delivered to you or others of your choosing on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. And that is it for the overview of the Cost Summary Pulse report for Azure. Thank you for joining us.